Hi, and welcome back to Woman's Heart Podcast on VOE Network. I am your host, Edna Howard. I'm the founder of Voices of Encouragement. It's an organization designed to empower women. And I'm very excited you're joining me for another empowering message because this year we're shining the spotlight on wellness, mindset, business, and lifestyle, providing resources, tools, and tips to help women navigate both their professional and personal development. And today I'm honored and privileged to have on the show with me, Miss Fiona Duncan is the owner of Deluge Health Spa, and she is a registered pharmacist, functional nutrition consultant, and health coach. And so I'm very excited about you being on the show today, Fiona, because I want to hear some of your wisdom and some of those gold nuggets you're going to share with us. And over the years, about 20 years, she has worked as a pharmacist and dedicated healthcare professional, delivering exceptional service to patients and their caregivers. And so on the show today, Fiona is going to educate us on some of the benefits of the services she offers at the Deluge Health Spa, focusing on our wellness and healing our bodies. So I'm excited again to hear what you have to say. I want the audience to think of me as your Chief Encouragement Officer, bringing you firsthand expertise and wisdom from a woman who has found a way to help others in their wellness journey. She's impacting the wellness industry by offering an alternative to focusing on the symptom and not the problem, and helping those who seek a solution for affecting change. Welcome to the show today, Fiona.
Thank you so much for having me, Edna. It's a pleasure.
Awesome.
And yeah, I have a lot of nuggets to share. I'm a nerd at heart, so be careful what you ask for. We might be here.
We love it. We want to hear it all. So we're excited to have you on the show today, and I'm really looking forward to you sharing your knowledge and expertise. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. So I would love for you to tell us from your heart who you are and what makes you get up in the morning.
Well, like I said before, I'm a nerd at heart, but I am a work in progress. I'd say I'm a mom of 3. I am, like I said, a serious book lover. I am currently working on my current life purpose and my passion. I am a very practical, pragmatic person. I have a sarcastic sense of humor that has gotten me into trouble every now and then.
Okay.
I believe in the law of least effort. So I do the things that biggest impact for the least effort. Say I'm passionate about health. I always say I'm passionate, but I'm not neurotic. And right now, I'm working on practicing non-judgment, because I honestly believe that everybody is doing the best they can with what they have and what they know.
Exactly.
And what gets me up in the morning? I'm a benevolent poodle owner, the kid's dog, but she gets me up in the morning. She gets me up in the morning. Actually, she's kind of learned now, especially during the winter, cold winter days, not to just come and curl up and wait unless it's really urgent.
Right.
But really, actually, honestly, my children, my kids, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth reasons why I get up in the morning. And then after that is my desire to just really have a purpose, find my purpose, and really have a very definitive impact on healthcare with what I've learned, what I've been through, to have some meaningful change that I don't believe I didn't do and couldn't have done in over 20 years of pharmacy practice.
Right.
So those are the things that gets me up in the morning.
That is wonderful. And so tell us a little bit about your journey and who and what has helped to shape you into becoming this amazing business owner and woman that you are today. Because I'm curious to know, what was that turning point for you?
Oh boy, it was a passion project in the way that, I think mothers can understand. It started out with my daughter. My daughter was having a lot of health challenges that I couldn't understand, gut issues, food allergies, emergency room visits. At the time, I was managing 2 pharmacies within an organization that had physicians and nurses. And I thought, I know all these doctors, and I would take her to see them and thinking I would get, really good care, because these are people I'd worked with for 9 years plus years.
Mhm.
And one in particular looked at me like I had four heads, and I was just desperate. You're in the healthcare field, and your mom and your child is suffering, and you can't find a solution.
Right.
And fortunately, and then, this is before I understand the gut brain issue,
Mhm.
right? So mental
Right.
health challenges start developing. Allergy to mold. She was in a high school that had mold in the building, and it was
Mhm.
just really bad.
Mhm.
And the things that were offered, the prescription things, I knew they weren't helping. I could tell they weren't helping, but
Right.
that's all I knew. So, but fortunately, a former colleague of mine introduced me to something that was called functional nutrition. I was
Mhm.
like, what is that?
Right.
And so she sent me to someone who didn't really have a background in medicine, but had a PhD in biology. And
Mhm.
I was desperate at that time. So I trusted, and she worked with my daughter for about 3 months, and her health started getting better. And we were like, woohoo, hallelujah. We were so happy.
Yes.
And then she started regressing, right?
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, I need to go learn this myself. So
Mhm.
I went to study functional diagnostic nutrition. And one of the thing is you have to be your own first client, right?
Okay.
So when I got my lab test results, I mean, I know it's stress. I was working a crazy job and managing all these employees. And when I saw my lab test results and I look at it, it was on the far right where I didn't expect it to be. I was at
Right.
the far end of burnout, right? My
Wow.
adrenals were crashing. And
Mhm.
so I had to go through the process myself. That was my first client. And
Right.
then after that, I started working with friends and families, right? I worked with my daughter, worked with immediate family and friends. But I have to tell you that one, even though my daughter started, one of the biggest thing was when I started work with my mom. I know
Mhm.
she had arthritis, and I didn't. My mom's a doer. She never complains about stuff. You go there any time of day, and there's hot meal, and she never complains about anything. And then I said, Mom, I'm going to start working with you. It might take a while because you've had, hypertension, you've had arthritis for years and years. So it could take a while. And I started working with her, just changing her nutrition and, telling her, trying to get her to get enough sleep and all that.
Mhm.
And I think about 5 or 6 months in, she called me up and she says, honey, I was at church and there was this lady complaining that about her arthritis. And I was telling her all the things you're doing to me. And it dawned on me that I haven't told you that like my crippling joints have gone
Right.
away. She said, I was waiting for winter to come to see if those pain would come back.
Right.
And she says they haven't come back. And I said, Mom, how bad was the pain?
Mhm.
Right. And she said, honey, do you remember Dr. Kevorkian? And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know mom was in so much pain. And
Right.
at that level, when I thought about the type of drugs that I would have be
Right.
given her to do that, it was amazing. So that was a huge turning point. The inflammation came down. She went
Mhm.
to the doctor. They took her blood pressure 3 times, wondering, what's going on? We'll see you in
Right.
6 months. We'll just keep the
Right.
medication the same. She's like, and I lost weight. She was so excited. She's my biggest supporter now, but before it was like,
Awesome.
"Ah."
Because
So
she got to see for herself firsthand. That's what it
yeah,
was. Yeah.
I
That's
know.
great.
So yeah, that, and then, I decided to, I don't know, that it needed to be shared, right? I didn't know how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
So I worked with people, friends and people who'd refer just on the side while I was still working. Um, and that's how that got started.
So you said you were building your business while you were still working full time. Is that what I heard you say,
I
Fiona?
was while I was working full time, and then I reduced to part time, but I was working with, just family and friends on the side that would just, want to work with me. But it was more like a hobby. It wasn't
Right.
like, yeah.
And
And
it turned into a business. But look at that. That's how it goes. You just side
yeah,
hustle turned into your full-time hustle. I love it.
yeah, it's funny because I think about how I got here, and it wasn't, I feel like it was more like a blind, naive stumble that got me here. Like, I think if I had to sit to think about it, well, I'm like, would I have opened a brick and mortar? But it's been rewarding. I mean, at the base here, I have infrared sauna therapy, which is really good at just detoxing and de-stressing. I actually convinced mom to get one at her home because I have here, and when she'd visit, I'd be getting the sauna twice a
Mhm.
day. I'm sending her in there just to help de-stress and reduce that inflammation. So it's
Yeah.
been rewarding. I have some great clients that come in here that just love it. So
Wonderful. Now, do you get a lot of your referrals from doctors that say, hey, I need you to go visit Fiona Spa?
not really. I have chiropractors. So
Chiropractors, yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
word of mouth, other clients, that's like the best ones, right? Um, I think it's a little bit harder getting in because the conventional way of thinking about health,
Right.
yeah, there's a hurdle to go over there. But yeah, a lot
That
of
goes
my,
back to mindset, though. Remember, we talked a little bit about that. It's a
yes,
mindset shift that
definitely.
folks have to really say, you know what, I have to find something because what the doctors are giving me isn't working. Right.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the first time I did a presentation about what my next, thing venture was going to be about nutrition. And I had invited a bunch of my former pharmacist colleagues over and did a presentation with them. And when I was done, I expected like, like they were pretty supportive, but they'd, slowly I'll get a call from somebody, one of them going, I need your help. Right. But
Right.
I was pushed into it because I needed help for my daughter, right? So I was more a believer easier than they are.
Well, that's typically what happens when someone either opens up a business or does a nonprofit. It's something that happened to them or something they want to change or
Right.
something they know needs to come to the forefront, right? And so or someone gets angry enough to say, I got to make this change. This has to happen. So, well, congratulations to you, because that is a true blessing. And so where is your spa located? Is it located in Alexandria?
So we're in West Springfield, Virginia. So
West
yeah,
Springfield. Okay.
yeah, West Springfield. So
Okay.
pretty close to Burke area.
Okay.
I have people coming in from all over, from Alexandria, even from DC, actually.
Awesome. So, and then so how did you take the leap of faith to open the Deluge Health Spa in Virginia? I mean, just take the leap. I'm going to do it. Let me find a business partner. Let me just do this on my own. How did you do that? I mean, give us some details.
Do you remember what I said about the law of least effort?
Yeah.
So, when I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to open a spa, and the base of it would be infrared sauna therapy, because that could be a standalone modality. It's becoming more popular now because it's so much more effective than traditional steam saunas, right? So I'm like, okay, that will be my base. At least I'll have some clients coming in for that. But really, I had a colleague that was a PR person. Public relations. She was like, if you're going to open something, you need to go to Reston, you need to go to Tyson's, you need to go to other places. That's where, you're going to be profitable. That's where, and always in the back of my head was, I don't want to have that commute. I don't want to start hating my job because I'm sitting in traffic and, I thought and I'm like, this is a community I've lived in for 17 plus years. I'm like, there are people here that I can help, right? So the commute was a big deal, and community, of course. And I wanted to be able to be around the kids too, to if I had to pick up or drop off or they had activity.
So it's quality of life. I mean, just quality of life, being able to be close to family and being able to drive up the street instead of all the way across town to your business. That makes a huge difference.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. So with the steps you took to get started in the wellness industry, how has the wellness industry been to you? Has it been kind to you? Have we gotten feedback from folks, and as you're building your business? And did COVID affect you?
Yeah. So in terms of the wellness industry, I joined a mentorship a few months ago. It's been the best thing ever, because you're in like-minded people. You can bounce things off of them. It's just, that's been the best investment I made. I can tell you, when I decided I was going to put that money on my card, I thought I was not going to sleep that night. I slept like a baby, and I was like, okay, that's the cue that it was the right decision.
Right.
So,
and you're with like-minded people. That's the most important. It's like finding your tribe.
Yes. And so I think I need to, COVID did affect in so many different ways, but mostly because I wanted to start more like a community creates cure, where I would have presentations, have people come in, you know,
Right. Love it.
and things like that. So it affected that part of it. And so I'm trying to rev that back up where, you know,
Right.
actually I'm trying to do more virtual talks and things like that. Even now, people, you know, I think a lot of people are liking that, being able to do things from the home, right?
Right.
So, but in terms of the wellness community, there's not, you know, there's not a lot of functional medicine or functional nutrition practitioners right in this immediate area. It's very new. I'm trying to get the word out. And my clients and the people that come to the sauna here have been fantastic. They've been very supportive. So
Well,
like I
good.
said,
So we're
work in
getting the word
progress.
out. And have you advertised it all in terms of, you know, where you're located and that kind of thing? Do you do a lot of marketing with your company?
I need to do more marketing. I do, you know, like there's a local patch magazine, you know, some Google posts. I actually am in talk. I need to meet with someone to do some marketing, you know, whereas I know that's my weakness, right? I need to have somebody.
You're bringing the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they help. Yeah.
Because it's just too good information not to share, you know? So yeah, I'm trying to get myself a little bit more known, and so that I can share my knowledge and have people share their stories, because their stories, I learn so much when I hear people's stories, right, about their health journey. And so.
And you can decide how what you have, which leads me into my next questions. We're going to shift gears a little bit because I want to talk a little bit about a functional nutrition. What type of approach and how do you apply it? You know, what does that all entail? And then, you know, as you did your training for it and you got certified and all of that, and you helped your daughter, and then you became your first client. So what are some of the things you do? Like, help me understand that.
Sure. I'm glad you asked that question, because I originally named my practice Functional RX because I was still in the pharmacy mindset, right?
Yeah.
And I've actually just since changed it to the Self-Health Institute, because I'm like, at least it says a little bit more.
I love
Functional
that.
RX is like, what is that? So in a nutshell, what I teach is self-care, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty patient-centered, nutrition-based, that focus on just getting the normal functioning, physiological function of the body working. So I mainly look at the whole body, but I look at the detoxification with your liver, clearing that out, digestion, which you need that nutrients to have your body functioning well, and your hormonal system, right? If your hormone goes off kilter, if your insulin is one of the biggest one that's causing a lot of health issues these days. If your insulin is not working well, that hormone is not working well, then you have health challenges. So I look at that overall, but the overarching goal, no matter what I'm doing, is to relieve stress. And what I try to talk to my clients about is that you have to start looking at stress differently, right? Stress isn't just, oh my gosh, I have a crazy job, or I'm running around taking care of the kids. It's a lot more than that. It's having the wrong nutrition. When your body doesn't get the nutrients it needs, it is stressful. Or you could be having the best nutritious diet, but if you're not able to digest that food well, if everything's not functioning from the enzymes to your acid, everything go all the way down, then you won't extract that nutrients that your body needs out of it, right?
Right.
It's about getting the proper sleep. It's about not over exercising. You'd be amazed how many people over exercise, right? So like I said, there's a nutrition portion and then there's a lifestyle portion, right? And combined together. The exercise, the over exercising, I gotta tell you, it's probably the hardest thing that I have to talk to, especially male clients about, because, everybody thinks exercise is health, and exercise is fantastic. When your body is in a good state of health, yes. When your body is stressed, no. And then usually the conversations that I have is, well, did you know that if you over-exercise, you can actually reduce your testosterone? And I get up. Or did you know that if you don't get enough sleep, the size of your testicles shrink?
So then their miles drop. Like,
yes, and they have to sit with that for a while, right? They're like,
wait a minute, back it up.
But before that, I do warn them that a lot of what I teach is counterintuitive, right? It's not what you hear in the mainstream, but I've seen my clients get results. I get results. So yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing it. That's really good. So part of what you do, it sounds like you have to really have something that affects people's mindset as well. So you dig a little deeper. Instead of looking at the symptom, you really look at like, what is the core problem here? How can we resolve and get a resolution to your health? And how can we make you feel better, as we're moving forward in that? So that's what that sounds like. It's around the mindset of.
It's definitely a huge mindset shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think that it would be too, Fiona, because again, we're taught our beliefs. All of that is ingrained in us. So it's almost like an unlearning.
Yes, it is. Throughout my whole program, it's like a 12-week program, mm-hmm. and it's peppered with mindset change. Have to change your mindset, because I think a lot of people come to me and they think, oh, I want to lose weight, that this is, mm-hmm. I want to go on it. And I'm like, this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. You have to change your mindset. You have to apply the tools and for it to be effective. So it's amazing. It's amazing the things that come up when you start shifting that mindset, right? You start recognizing some of the things and the beliefs that you have that has been holding you back, mm-hmm. or hasn't been serving you well.
Right. Well, that's really good. So you really have a style of helping others that is very effective. It sounds like that functional nutritional piece is. And do you offer up diets or how to eat, like certain foods you should be eating to feed your body?
Well, yeah, yes and no. Mm-hmm. We, when you're in the program, sometimes if you join me and you're working with me for health coaching or mm-hmm. There is obviously a point that you're at. There's some people who are being proactive, right? And some people who they've gotten oh my goodness, I need to make a change. So the style of eating during that first couple of weeks is going to be different. It's more of a drastic change, right?
Right.
And then after that, you kind of transition into a lifestyle diet, right? A style mm-hmm. of diet that will maintain you, not, I always talk about diet, the noun, and diet, the verb, right? The verb mm-hmm. is what you're doing. I'm on a diet. I'm on a pineapple juice diet. I'm on a water diet versus a diet, which is a noun, which is that's my diet, right? That's a diet that I have to sustain my health and maintain my well-being, right? That's very different. So I teach people what it's supposed to look like. I'm from the Caribbean, so my food is very different. If somebody told me I had to start eating an absolutely different diet, I would still be wanting some of my cultural foods. So it's more teaching you what your plate's supposed to look like versus mm-hmm. giving you a specific thing, right? And
so how about intermittent fasting? Do you touch on that at all?
Definitely. And one of the things I talk to my clients about, it's either what do I eat? What do you have recipes? Yes, I do, to guide you. But it's more how to eat and when to eat. Those are the bigger questions, because, like I always say, it's like we all inherently know what to eat. Your mom always eat your veggies, right? Yeah. So it's like, is it the broccoli or the donut? We all know what is healthy,
we want the donut, but we know the broccoli is better for us, right?
Right. So, when we talk about when to eat, it's, breaking your fast. There's break fast, but how do you break your fast and when do you break your fast? Mm-hmm. If you can push your fast a little bit more, most people are already doing a fast, right? They go the last meal in the evening to the first meal in the morning. There's that window of fasting. So when you learn how to take advantage of that, right? That is key, because you're giving your body a break. If you eat 3 hours before bedtime, you give your brain that washout period that reduces that brain fog that you might wake up in the morning with, because your body wasn't busy digesting food instead of repealing and repairing in the sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, if you can say, okay, well, I'll have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, what you enjoy, especially if that coffee has mushroom in there, which has a lot of health benefits. You push your fast a little bit later in the morning. You'd be amazed that it's not what to eat, but it's more how and when to eat. And if you're eating in a state where you're more relaxed, so how to eat is sit down, take a breath, check your shoulders. take a deep breath, relax, be grateful for, the food that's in front of you, and get into a state of rest and digest. Because again, if you are in a state of rush, you're going to eat more, right? You're going to eat a lot more because it takes about 15 minutes for your brain to recognize that you've had enough. And if you've eaten 2 servings in that time, by the time your brain goes, oh, you've had enough, you've eaten too much, and your body has to find somewhere to put it. And if you're in a really rushed state, then your body goes into the state that it's the holy grail of my program. It goes into a state of fight or flight. Your body's in state of fight or flight because you're rushing. And when you're in a state of fight or flight, all your, like 80% of your blood is diverted to your limbs, your hands, your legs, because you're supposed to be running away and saving your life. Your vision gets clearer, all those things, reproductive health things slow down, digestion slow down. The movement of your colon slows down because that's not the time to be going to the bathroom, right? So not enough blood is left in that area of your organs to help you digest your food, to have your liver clear up what's going on. So getting in that state of rest and digest is key.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing all those details. That is excellent. Just getting that information, and I'm sure that folks are going to want to reach out to you. So what is one piece of advice you can give to someone who really needs to make that mind shift about health and wellness treatments?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. But I think more than anything else, it's about unlearning, right? Whether we realize it or not, we've kind of been told breakfast is the most important meal of the day, what you should be having for breakfast.
Yeah. I was told that by my grandmother for years.
And you know what? Back then it probably was what to have.
Right. That might have been true at that time, and I and that was what was ingrained in me. I have to eat breakfast. I have to have it. I have to have it. Now I do intermittent fasting. I break my fast at 11 o'clock.
Awesome. I know, it's funny because my son, when he's home, when there's no school, he doesn't venture into the kitchen till about 10, 11 o'clock. But when he's going to school, breakfast, here's your breakfast, have something to eat. Because I think we as moms too, we're like, we don't want to send them off to school hungry, right? And then their meals are so scheduled, they can't just break their fast when they feel hungry, right? It's just, there's a rigid time when their lunch break is. So it's funny you say that, but there's so many things when I talk about shifting mindset when it comes to health and wellness. I remember when I started doing this, and I discovered that 90% of the serotonin, your feel-good hormone, is actually made in your gut, right? I've been dispensing drugs for the brain all this time to get that mood, right? And when I realized that just some addition of a specific probiotic could actually help enhance the effect of those antidepressant or your mood, right? It was a game changer for me when I started learning that GERD really isn't a lot of acid. It's actually probably too little acid, and over the long term you're making it worse, right? Those things were game changers. So I'm like, it's really, for me, it was unlearning, right? Or being able to put things into perspective, right? Because we didn't learn these things in pharmacy school, right? And doctors don't learn really about nutrition in school. So it's a lot about unlearning, getting rid of what habits don't serve you. You have to get real with yourself, right? When I talk to clients, they're like, oh, I can't give up this. Really? Choose your hard, right? You're going to wait until you get to a point where you have a diagnosis and you really have to make a sharp turn, or would you like to try to be proactive about it now? I mean, when I think about it, getting to healthy is so easy. It becomes complicated when we start saying it's hard, right? And so I'll tell people, don't wait for, equity in healthcare. Don't wait for disparity to go away. Honestly, the best healthcare is self-care, is to take care of yourself. And nobody's coming to save you. You've got to save yourself.
That is so true. Yeah.
Yes. If the status quo was working, we wouldn't be in the state that we're in, and the population health that we're having, issues that we're having. So be open mind, have an open mindset, seek out another way of getting the results that you need. Find people who are doing better at what you want to do, and ask for help. What are you doing differently? Right? And be open to listening to that something different can actually make a difference. Right?
That's awesome. Thank you for that. That's great, great advice. Great advice. So you're a successful woman, business owner, of course, and wellness advocate. So what's next for Fiona? What's your
So,
next?
I'm sure you can appreciate this as an entrepreneur. You're right. You, at any given moment, there's like a lot of things going on in that brain, right? You're trying to figure out what's next. Ideas are always flowing. Like I said, I'm a constant work in progress. I'm told I'm usually very hard on myself. So my definition of successful is it changes as I progress. And I'm told I'm successful. Not certain yet, because I feel like there's so many people out there that I can actually help. I can guide and be a guide for to get them on their journey to health and wellness. But I think first and foremost, right now, I really want to work at just optimizing my metabolic reset program, health reset program. I want to make it just a really great experience. It's, some of it it's a mindset change. That's the biggest part, but I want to optimize that. First, when I started practicing functional nutrition and lifestyle medicine, there was a lot of labs, a lot of supplements. I used to tell my client, you'll be taking a handful of supplements. Right. And now I find that if I really zero in, if I really dial in and focus on, nutrition and lifestyle factors, without the lab tests, without the supplements, you could get 70% improvement in your health. And, when I can see that when I have clients that are so determined and so focused, they nail it. And you start seeing results within a week, right?
That is awesome.
And so I really want to optimize that and make it just this program that it's a no-brainer, right? Currently, I think I just read something yesterday that said 88% of Americans have metabolic issues. That means only 12% are metabolically sound in their body, right? So I want to work on that. I joke about reopening my health spa under the guise of a gym, because more people will show up at the gym, right?
Oh, let me go. Let me go,
right?
Because it's in the head. It's like, oh yeah, I got to go to the gym.
Yes. I know in the long run, I do want to mentor and train other pharmacists. To do what I do, because I think they have such so much contact with the community, right? Because you might see your doctor once or twice a year, but you go to the pharmacist every month or every 3 months to get your prescription filled. So they have that point of contact. I can think that can be so much more helpful. And also with, to build a different kind of pharmacy, right? Because especially now with the burnout that's now thrust into the public's eye, it's always been there. It was there when I started practicing. Right. It's just been put in the forefront now. So giving them another way to fulfill their passion, right? Because I'm sure most of them didn't go into pharmacy like me going, oh my God, the drive-thru is ringing, this is going on, right? Right. I definitely know I want to mentor some pharmacists.
So you're giving out self-care and wellness, and the pharmacists are giving out medication. That's what's in my head right now.
Yes.
So to me, wellness and mindfulness and those types of things that really, just kind of looking at yourself and doing some self-reflection and assessment, emotional intelligence, all of that, and working through, the core. That's what it sounds like you're offering. And that sounds amazing. Instead of going to take a pill to try to fix the symptom, instead of really getting to the core of the problem.
Yes, definitely. But I do think that, the more people are aware that they can use their lifestyle and their nutrition and even incorporate that might help to reduce that pill burden, right? So that point of contact, having that people aware and have that knowledge. But other than that, I definitely want to write a book, and I will be reading your books.
I'm looking forward to getting your book. I'm looking forward to you writing that book.
But it needs to be this. I want it to be very short, very impactful. I don't, I pick up a book and it's a great book and it's a health book, but it's like 400 pages long. And I think, well, the right person is going to.
It's intimidating.
Right. And you're like, I need this, and very more like a workbook or a guide that show you that you can actually get to healthy really easily if you just
Exactly.
a couple of the things that you do, like the intermittent fasting, right? Understanding how you break a fast. That alone can have such a huge impact on your health. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, eventually, at some point,
Mhm.
hopefully in, before I reach retirement age, I want to be on a beach somewhere in the tropics, drinking fresh coconut water and getting sun drunk on the beach. That's the final
Like that,
goal.
that's your next. I love that. So Fiona, some folks are going to want to get in touch with you. So could you share your website and information with the audience, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It's Deluge Spa. That's just like the word behind me, DelugeSpa.com.
Mhm.
That's a website for me. And I'm in West Springfield. The phone number is 703-569-1212.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Fiona, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to share your wisdom and your expertise with us. You are truly helping to heal and impact the world around you, and we are grateful for you. Thanks for opening up your spa in this Northern Virginia area, because we need it. And what you're offering is needed. And I'm saying that vocally and loudly, that what she is offering is needed in this area, especially with everyone sitting at their computer all jammed up and rushing off to go to some job and working 12 hours. We need what she has. So take advantage of that. So, and I want to say that that's a wrap. And thank you for listening to the show today. If you've enjoyed the show, please share the podcast, like and subscribe, and be sure to share it with a friend. A couple of announcements. Financial Wellness Series is coming up in April. The first one is April 7th, and we will be discussing topics such as financial education, including practical financial strategies, emotional connection with money, and building your financial foundation. So please register for that. You can find registration for that particular workshop or workshops at www.voicesoфencouragement.com and look under the workshop tab. And also the Encouragement Cafe Women's Empowerment Virtual Workshop, Don't Block Your Blessings, is scheduled to take place on Saturday, May the 21st. And if you need a deeper dive and you want some one-on-one coaching, VOE offers ICE coaching and consulting services to help those who need some extra encouragement, empowerment, mindset, and transformation. So for more information, you can email me today at voemetoday@gmail.com. Until we meet again, Ephesians 4:1, walk worthy of the call for which